and welcome to iNurture videos. In this video, we will discuss about business process mapping. At the end of this video, you will be able to understand the modeling tools for a business process, describe the hardware environment for ERP. Business process mapping is also referred as business process modeling. Business process model defines what a business entity does, to what standard business processes should be done, and who is responsible. A pictorial representation through graphs, charts, and process flow is called mapping. Process map can be created by identifying objectives of key process. While analyzing a process, the following difficulties are to be considered: number of organizations and teams involved, budget or cost problems, accessibility, and time. Various tools can be used in order to do a model for process. Let's discuss about some of the tools. Flow charting is most widely implemented diagram type. For representation of flow charts, some standard symbols are used. BPMN, Business Process Model and Notation, can be considered as advanced version of the basic flowchart technique. For designing and documenting, flowcharts are used. Flowcharts has a sequential flow of processes and do not support any action of breakdown. A swim lane flowchart is a visual element for process flow diagram, and it is different from other flowcharts as it divides the information into visual categories. Let's understand the swim line flowchart in detail. The process of student registration was placed in lanes as the parallel lines divide the chart into lanes. Lanes are labeled to represent how the chart is organized. Arrows between the lanes represent how information is passed between sub-processes. The steps of this flowchart represent who is responsible for each department. The hierarchical model divides the complex processes into smaller parts. Hierarchical model follows a principle called from abstract to concrete, which means it provides information about the processes of different levels. Hierarchical model is defined by its levels and the information given in the levels. The different levels of this model are business area, process group, business process variant, process step, and activity. Event process chain diagrams are used for resource planning and identifying any improvements of a business process. The starting and ending of each EPC diagram is designed with an event. Events are designed to meet the conditions of a process. Flow charting is most widely implemented diagram type. For representation of flow charts, some standard symbols are used. BPMN, Business Process Model and Notation, can be considered as advanced version of the basic flowchart technique. The basic step for improving the business is to identify the need for change. An audit can identify current issues of an organization, and the reports of audit describe the ability to line up the areas for business improvement. Audit process is the best way for improving opportunities. After identifying the need for change, analyzing the process is the next step. If once the process is decided where to improve, the following questions will help to choose a tool for analysis. What is broken in the process chain? Which steps in the process create obstacles? Which step requires most time to complete, responsible for delays? Which steps cause costs or revenues to go up? Which steps cause quality to go down? The third step for the process is obtaining commitment. This step is the important factor in the process as the success of project, depends on managerial support. The upper management support is considered mandatory as process improvement can be time and resource intensive. After analysis phase, developing the strategy is the next step, including what steps in the process are broken and why and how they should be improved are considered as vital processes in this step. Setting realistic and measurable objectives that align with the overall strategic goals is recommended in this step. Selection of ERP implementation or hardware can be done by sizing, SAP environment, hardware selection, two-tier and multi-tier. Sizing is a software implementation estimated for the hardware resources. Several resources are available to support sizing and solution sizing sheets which help to respond for customer requests. This application is an iterative process. SAP is a critical software application which depends on hardware infrastructure. Co-founder of SAP, Hasso Planter, estimated that future advances in hardware may bring new approaches for building applications, which is very significant for the development of SAP software. Hardware selection can be done by checking the following factors of the CPU like memory, network bandwidth, and I/O capacity. Two-tier configuration uses big boxes for deploying the system so that both the database and the different application servers run on the same physical box, whereas a multi-tier configuration is where we can separate application servers from database servers. The advantage of multi-tier is it has the ability to identify the scale of company's growth. Hardware-related decisions and budget constraints will affect each other, causing difficulty to extract pricing. Let's have a quick recap on what we discussed. Mapping is pictorial representation of charts, graphs, and describing how process flow into other subparts. Swim lane flowcharts are different from other flowcharts. The process of swim lane is grouped visually by placing them in lanes. The advantage of multi-tier is that it has the ability to identify the company growth. Thank you for watching this video.